Hi, I'm Kath, the Corner Sewing Girl. Last time I done my video, I explained how I had COVID. I had a negative 5 days after I knew I had COVID, and it said negative. I couldn't believe that, but I still wasn't feeling very well, and I've been extremely tired, and I've had very painful aching legs. But hopefully in time I shall get over it and get back to my normal self. But in the meantime, I have still done some work on my dress, which is this one here, and I've done that one as I've showed you before, but just a refresh and a recap today. I've done the neck, set in a bit of lace around the neck, and I'm going to show you now how I achieved my goals to get that straight, and also how I put a little motif on the front. Now that didn't go to plan, I'm afraid, because I done the motif, and I shall show you me doing that, and this is the motif here. As you can see, all cut out. What happened was I managed to achieve my goals to pick a pattern which didn't pull, didn't bunch up, and I was pleased with that, and it did stitch out really, really lovely, so I was delighted with that. I then took it off the embroidery machine and was filming it, saying, look, this is okay, this has turned out great. And then when I took the pins out of it and went to lift it off the embroidery hoop, I noticed that one of the shoulder straps here, if I can get this the right way around, this part here of the shoulder strap here was stuck under the back of the embroidery design, and as you can see, I've cut it all out a little bit there, and there's a bit of it still stuck there. Well, just as I noticed it, my husband came in with a cup of tea for me, and I saw, look what's happened. And he said, oh my God, oh, you have to throw that away. Oh, you'll never put that right. Oh my God, you buy some more material, he said. And I said, I'll solve it. It's not a problem. When you've been sewing for years, you've had these problems before. You don't mean to do it. And I put it down to me COVID brain, you know, not thinking of all the steps I would normally do thought of. Because it is good for the brain sewing, because you've always got to think ahead of yourself, and there's so many little things on the way that helps with the procedure, and you've got to keep that going in your head all the time. So it's good for the brain. But I knew it wasn't a problem, because when I put this in around here, I knew that I needed to pick it up somewhere else on the dress as well. And I thought, oh, if only I could put a bit in the sleeves. But the sleeves were that folded half moon that there was no edge just to deal with on the sleeves. I absolutely adore the sleeves. So, you know, I adore the way they went in and the way you haven't got to fuss with them very much. It's a very easy thing to do, these sleeves. No easing, no nothing. But then I say that later on. So I explain all that later on. So I found a little bit more lace, and I'm thinking, well, I've got something now that'll tie in with this little bit of lace around the bodice of the neckline. I thought if I have that, so the shoulder is, if I can see where the shoulder seam is, because, you know, this pattern is, oh, it's up here. Yeah, I had it upside down. But yeah, that's the shoulder seam there. So I brought it down a little bit just so that your shoulder would be here and a little bit of lace would be here, and then I got the lace going around the neck. So if I hold that up like that, you see, that's the shoulder up there. So, you know, and that picks up a little bit of the lace going around the neck. So I needed to pick it up somewhere. But that's how I solved the problem. Because, well, this part here, going up here, was caught underneath this design. All I done was cut it off and then inserted this and then put some more. I had a little bit of fabric to follow this up through. So I was fine with that. Now I had right on the front of the dress here, where this was to, I had a great big chunk of the, shoulder strap stuck to the back of it, and you couldn't leave that on there. So I thought I'll find another design, put a bit of fabric on the top, find a nice big heart or something that would cover right over it. And I done that. But I didn't like that. And I put Portofino, Italy in it. But the writing was a little bit small. And my husband said, oh my God, that's perfect. That looks lovely. Oh, you've achieved, salvage it. But I don't know. I just didn't. It just looked such sort of a big stamp there in the middle. And I wanted something a little shabby chic and a little something, maybe not so in your face, So I done another one. I ended up with this, but you won't be able to see that now. Another little art. And I put some voile on it to give it a little bit of sparkle. I show this all later on as I do the process. But I'm now going to take you through the process of what I've done, how I've done this little bit of lace. In fact, it's nice because I've had so many with the piping. It's a nice change. And, how I set the sleeves in and all. I'm going to show you all that. But I took it slow just so I could, show you. And I've got the skirt, the burrito roll to still show you and everything like that. So I hope I help with this pattern, because it is a really, really lovely pattern. But one thing I did want to say, the one I bought in the white company, made of viscose as well, and it was sort of felt very similar in texture. That one did shrink, and it shrunk quite a bit. So I gave this a good wash before I done it. Although one thing I do want to say, I shall do another video as well and make sure I completely finish this dress. So at the moment I'm doing the cap sleeves, showing you around the neckline and how I set that in, because there's a little bit of a detail on how I do that. Anyway, I hope you like all that. So here we go. Let me show you how I got on, and you can see now and laugh when I see, oh look, this embroidery have come out lovely. It didn't, did it? But well, there's a will, there's a way. We soon got it just the way I wanted it, and I really didn't waste any fabric, hardly at all. Just the little scraps that really I couldn't do a lot with, that I just laid on top the pattern and done a design over it. This one has got a little bit of a raw edge. That's a little bit of the raw edge there, as you can see. But I like that because I wanted a little shabby chic, and because the stitching that's holding it down is quite a lot of it, that it wouldn't fray at all. And if you see a little bit of fray in there, I think that'll add to a little something on the front, because it's going to have lining and everything on the back, so it's going to be okay. I think I'm going to love that. Anyway, I'm just going to let you see how I go and see what you think, and I hope I can help you with making this dress, because it's a lovely style. Oh, I got one more thing to tell you before I go. Simplicity patterns are on sale, and they've been on sale for a while, and they're coming to an end this Saturday afternoon, so the lady in the True Fabrics told me. So I thought, well, I better grab a few. So I grabbed this one because I thought this would be a lovely, easy one, and it would keep my legs nice and cool being long in the summer. So I'm going to give that one a go. So that one was only £6 because it was in the sale, and it is a Simplicity 8912. Okay. Yeah, I think I love that. It has, like you can see here, got a seam right down the middle, so I wouldn't pick too busy a fabric because you'd have to match that. I don't think that would look right if you didn't match it. But if you got like Italia brunette fabric or something like this one, there would be no pattern matching, like, you know, something that wants any pattern matching. So that was that one. Now, you know, I like my jackets. Now, you might think, well, this one's the same. I'm not so keen on the pockets on that. There's two huge pockets there. But this one had the princess seams coming way up on the top of the shoulder down. Let's see if you can see it on the back, maybe. Oh, that's the back of it. There's princess seams on the back. But the princess seams on the front do start from the shoulder down instead of the armhole. And I've always got a problem with too much up here fabric. And I think with that, you've got two ways to pinch a bit in then on the shoulder and the seam. And I quite like that. I even like that one, although I don't think I'd have those bits on the end. Although these things are all in fashion now. I would shorten that for the summer. Bring them up there. It is possible you could do that, or I might think of a little, you know, put some buttons or something on the sleeve, or do these, because they are in fashion, but I think that looks a bit long myself on the sleeves there. So I'm going to have a go at that one, because I sort of ruined the pattern last time I cut the other one out, because I was trying to go from a 14 to a 16, and there were separate patterns for each one. And, you know, I've bought another one anyway, although the other one might be all right. But I've got another one now, and this isn't the same. It is different. Right, so that's those two. Then I saw this one. I quite like this. Now, I don't like too much material here. I don't like too much material here, but when you look at this one here, another nice long one, I quite like that. And I'm there thinking, well, you can ease some of the material out. You haven't got to do, you know, you could cut it out and then make sure you cut it back on the sides and just do as much easing as you want. And I quite like the neckline on that. And they've got one there as well with the cap sleeves. And I find cap sleeves are a nice thing to have. And I do like that on the bottom there, because that seems to be what people sort of wear now, and it seems to be in the shop. So I think that one would look nice, I think, as well. And I like the neckline on that. So that's that one. And that one is Simplicity 8872. So that's that one. This one here, the jacket was 8844. Make sure I said that right. Yeah. And this lovely one here, which I think is nice and slimming, because I don't like anything not slimming. I mean, you don't have to have the slit in the front. You can have the slit in the back. You know, you could do a kit pleat in the back. So I'm going to have a think what way round to do that. And that one is 8912. I think I said that earlier on. But I'll have to get that wicker bag and a pair of flip-flops. And uh-oh. I hope I don't attempt my embroidery around the neck again. But, well, there's a will. There's always a way to get around these things. Okay, so I'm going to let you see how I done my dress. This one here. Just a few more steps. It's not really fitted. It's got a lovely bit of room in it. And it is a lovely dress. So I'll let you just see how I get on with that. Okay, speak soon. There we go. We've stitched something there. A little scroll or something, you know, whatever you would call it. Just something to break the pattern up. You know, I'll take it off the embroidery machine and you can see what it's like. And that's the pattern there. So this is on the top bodice, right in the front. Just put a little something. I was a little bit nervous because I thought, well, you know, you've only got to buy more material if it doesn't work. And sometimes you can't put too dense of a pattern on here. And I floated it and I made sure I was very gentle putting the pins in because we didn't want to snag the fabric. But I think it's going to work. So let's take it off the embroidery and have a look. There we are. Yeah, I think it's just a little something, and it is metallic thread, so you know, it does pop a little bit. You'll be able to see it a little better when I get it on the tailor's dummy and get the dress all together. Okay. Well, we're just trying to spruce it up a little, break up the all over pattern, because it's one plain pattern all over. See what we can do, what we can play around with. And I've just wrote Portofino, Italy, because my son lives very near Portofino, 15-minute drive from Portofino in Italy, so we'll put Portofino on my dress. My voice still isn't quite perfect, it's a bit squeaky, but at least I'm not too poorly. Right, we are. We've got the lace going around the neck. Now we must put this up. Like I said, this isn't too bad to sew with. We're going to do the pressure foot width. And here we go. We're going to do a little bit of this lace around the neck. And remove it as we go. And there we go. Now I've got me bin in the way here. This pressure foot sometimes slips under the unit, but there's a little something to slide there. Right, apart from me muttering away, let's get cracking. I'm going to take this slow because precision on here, when I can't see, let's do needle up a minute and one across, one towards the inside. In fact, that was two little shunts across, because the reason why I'm taking my time and doing this is because when I put the lining fabric on, I won't be able to see the pattern of the lace. And if I pull it out and I've caught the holes, which is part of the lace, it won't look right. So I do know what I mean. So I've got to make sure I'm not overlapping those holes. Once I get going in a minute, I'll be all right. Turn the speed up a bit. So far, so good. I always like to take my time on these things, because if you just rush it and then it don't look right, you just got to go back over it again, which I'm more or less doing now. You just need to manipulate it so that you get it. Just play around with that as you go, and what feels right, do it. But always make sure what I'm doing is the edge of the fabric is one of the, you know, feet of the, you know, one side of the foot. Then you've got the lace in the middle, and then the other part of the foot overlaps the top part of the lace. We've got to come in again now. Yeah. Bring that little bit of a bend there. No, I still feel like I could come in a little bit more. Oops, wrong way. That's better. She's looking all right. There we go. Right, well, I just finish it. I'll see you in a minute. We're doing the cap sleeves now. Now, I've laid the whole thing out. This is where we've got the lace too on the neck. We haven't put the lining in yet. We've gone around and pinned all the lace on. Now, pardon me. Now we're setting in the little cap sleeves. Now, they don't go right to the end. I know you've got your seam allowance there, but there is a little pinch at the end. I don't think when the cap sleeves go right round. They're not supposed to. On the pattern, it just looks a little oval, you know, like a rugby ball type thing. But on here it does say which is the front and which is the back. So all I done was where it says front there, I just laid the pattern piece that way because, hang on, let's just see. Just see whether I have got it right. Because I suppose if you was to turn this over, it could be anyway. Let's have a look. Looks like that's right. I don't think there's much in it anyway. Let's double check this is the... I've got it the right way round in case there is a little kink in it. Yeah, looks like that one's the front, because it says front here, so you want, that's the front there of the top. So just double checking. It's always best to double check because the dress will get a lot of wear out of it, although I'm not sure with what I've put on the centre whether I like that or not, but that's me all over, that is. So let's just carry on, enjoy the process, and let's see what we get at the end of the day. I started, so I know I had the even amount on both ends. I folded the this piece in half that I cut out, you know, the sleeve bit here, the little half moon sleeve. I cut it, let's get in there, right in there. I'm going to do the width of the brush of that thing. Let's go right to the end. Make sure that little tip is caught in there. Right, so we started in the, folded this little cap sleeve in half, pinned it in the middle of the shoulders, and then it would even out on each side. But remember, there is a front and a back to it. The pattern piece tells you that because it looks identical otherwise. I think I could come just out a fraction. Get my needle in there. There we go. Do a back stitch. And we're off. I don't think it looks like there's hardly any easing. It's laid flat all the way around, but we'll soon find out. I got someone to catch me pins. There we go. So we are doing the sleeve, the cap sleeve. Just pinned it in the middle on the sleeve as the center point. And now we're just stitching right around. Doesn't seem to be any easing in. So this cap sleeve might be a nice one to do. I have done a lot of these dresses, but I only do them in the summer. So, you know, it's 12 months in between. But I have got some I bought. I'll show you the ones I bought from the White Company, which is this pattern, exact pattern. Now, if we can lay the shoulders, seams flat. And everything will lay flat. Just checking everything as we go, making sure nothing's caught up or anything, and that the two pieces are the same, nothing's slipping back. It's not too bad to sew with, to be honest. It isn't that slippery. In fact, it just feels nice and soft to handle, to be honest. Now we're coming down near the princess seams on this sleeve. They aren't supposed to meet up at the end, because, you know, it just comes round your sleeve and there is a gap because it is just a cap sleeve. But it does, you know, stops your shoulders from feeling bare. You get away with not always having to put a cardigan on there. Oh, I'm just pining for a lovely sort of a dark orange cardigan to go with this. Or a little dark orange jacket, that would be nice. Might look around for some fabric for that. Just going slow over these princess seams, because we don't want nothing puckering up. Don't forget, enjoy the process. There we go. At least I'm having somebody to chat to when I'm sewing. I normally got me laptop on and I'll listen to other sewers, or I'll listen to documentaries. I won't go into now what I like with that because we'll be here all day. There we go. And a back stitch at the end. Oh, forgot to. There we go. And once we iron that one in, that one's gone in lovely. And that's our sleeve all gone in there. Look. Once we iron it in as well, that'll go in lovely. And I'll show you how we do the burrito roll in a moment and how we can pull these out as well. Right, so that's that side done. Starting to look like a dress now. Let's just see. I need a bit of ironing. When I was doing my jacket, it looked terrible when I in between ironing, you know, not ironing it. And when I gave it a good iron, my God, you couldn't believe the difference. There. Just pull you around this way a bit. And that's the sleeve there. It's just a little cap sleeve. If you can see it. Just a little cap sleeve. It makes the world of difference, actually. Like I said, you don't feel quite so bare then when you need a cardigan. Cool. I can't believe how easy that went in, that sleeve. So this is a lovely pattern. No wonder I do it so much. Right, then we get the pattern piece again. So we know which is front and which is back. So let's just turn that one over. and turn this one over here. So we've sewed them along the bottom so that we haven't got them slipping about. Now, you might have to turn them over. That says front there. Actually. Let's just do that way. I don't think there's hardly anything in it, though, to be honest. That seems a little bit off. It don't be that way. Perhaps I could do that. Let's just fiddle around until things start to look perfect. Might be this where I've ironed it and sewed it a bit. Right, we'll go for this one. I'd say that's the front. I don't think there's much in it. Right, this is the front. So the front of the dress is here. And this bit in my hand is the front. So now we fold it in half so we can just do the shoulder bit. Fold it in half like that. Pop a little pin just at the top. When it gets a bit cold in here, I generally reach, and I've got a small little box under my table here. And I generally reach for my scarf. But the only thing is when you're sewing, I'll probably end up stitching that in. If it's just getting a little cold, sometimes I'll whip one on. Actually, it might be dangerous while I'm sewing. Should probably stitch myself to the plumbing sewing machine, wouldn't I? Right, I should put it on in a minute. Right, we've done the cap sleeves. There was no easing. They just went in, just sewn them on. You know, they're the half moon shape. I think I've put the other pattern piece away now. But you know, they were that half moon. There we go, look. They just sewed them in a circle around the armhole. And I've just ironed them. And there we go. We got the top part of the bodice done. And we've got that little bit of playing around I done with the motif thing on the front of the bodice. I'll show you that now. Hi, we've just put the cap sleeves in. This is the cap sleeve. Remember, we was trying to find left or right to go on here. Obviously, that's the front there. And that's the little cap sleeve that just goes on. And there it is. I've got a dress on my lap to just show you one I done last summer. I done this one with a little bit of piping on there. And these were the cap sleeves. And I find with the cap sleeves, you know, it saves wearing a cardigan. Sometimes you don't feel quite so bare. And I just put a little, just a button there. Just if they were a little bit loose at the end, just to pull that there. Just fold, make a little pleat. And then I sewed that button on. Oh, the amount of people that asked me where I bought this dress to. And then this here was a duvet cover in Marks and Spencer's that was selling off for a ridiculous, silly price. So I thought, well, it's cotton. That can do for the lining. And that's how I get me zips in all nice and snug, which we'll be getting to that in a minute. There you go, all nice and snug, that nice zip. And here is where we are with our dress at the moment. As you can see, I'll just show you this. The reason why I put something on the bodice part was because when you look at this just like that, all over the dress, there was nothing really to break it up. I was going to pick out some little rust buttons and just put a little cluster of 2 or 3 together. But I didn't know if that would work. So what I done was that says Portofino, Italy. My son lives in Portofino, and I add a little bit of, I call it, I forget the name of it now. It's like a chiffon, very fine sort of material. I just put that down and stitched over the top of it and then cut it back a little bit just to give it a little bit of something there, you know, just to make something, just for it to sparkle a bit. And I used metallic fret on the outside, and it says Portofino, Italy. I'm not sure if it's coming out back to front. And then we've got this little bit of lace, because I didn't have any piping. So that's there. I'm sure these sleeves will go in okay. And that's just a little bit of lace just to break the pattern up, because your sleeve is, top of your sleeve is there. That's where your top of your sleeve is. So I've just put that there just to break the pattern up. It didn't really need this, and really I don't really think I should have bothered with it. I just got a bit restless and wanted to just do something. And that's the back where I cut everything away because it's going to have lining there. Yeah, the sleeves went in lovely. There was no easing whatsoever in those sleeves. You just stitch the half moon in one go, and they just are great. And you know, you don't need a cardie. It gives you that little bit of coverage then. So there we go. Let's lay this down. There, look, you can see how the sleeves, that's the seam of the sleeves there. And let's just bring it all into shape a moment. It's the trouble with these things. It's hard to find which is the right way around. We got it. Now, I'm going to whip this pattern piece away because I love this pattern. And like I say, I've done hundreds of these, and I don't want... I have got 2 because one's gone a little bit rough around the edges, and I've been cutting it out so many times. Oh. So I should trace it off really, but I have got another one unopened at the moment. The same pattern. There we go. Wouldn't hurt if it's your first time to do, you know, just go for the bigger size, and you can always bring the seams in as you go, because it's easy to take the skirt bit in on the sides, and just as long as you don't get disappointed and it's not, you know, fitting you. There we go. And this is, like I told you just now, this is the one that I completed last year. Wore it to death. That's the one I done last year with the piping on it. But seeing I was poorly, I didn't want to risk going in any more sewing shops. Although I went out Saturday when I had a negative test. Anyway, we're going to put the lining on now, and we're sort of getting there. Let's see if I can hold that one up. There we go. I'm now going to get the lining to fit. Hi, I hope you like that, what I put together, because, you know, I haven't been feeling very well at all with this COVID, and excuse the huffing and the puffing that I'm doing, you know, through it. And I hope you like the steps I've done. Next video is going to be the burrito roll, just to make it all nice and clean inside, you know, with seams. And also I shall do the skirt part then, show you how to do the darts in the back of the skirt and the pleats in the front, and show you how I do the hem. And also something you all have been asking for is how I get my zips nice and snug. So I'm got away now to put my camera on zoom a little bit more. So when I actually put the zips in, I'm going to try and really zoom in so you can see how lovely and snug I get those zips and my way of doing it, because I'm always different than everyone else. Even though everyone's way may not be a bad way and everyone adapts to what feels right for them. Anyway, I look forward to showing you that, and thank you so much for watching my channel, and love to you all, and see you all soon. Bye bye.